Hi, my name is Chris Holton Jablonski, and it is my great joy and privilege to serve you as your minister. The poet Kim Rosen writes, "In October of 2008, I invested all my savings in a small local fund. 2 months later, the friend who had told me about the fund left a message. Bernard Madoff was arrested today. The fund was a fraud. We've lost everything." I stood there not breathing, clutching the phone as the voicemail lady repeated, "To replay this message, press 1. Then out of nowhere, I heard these words in my mind: "Before you know what kindness really is, you must lose things." Though I had heard Naomi Shihab Nye's kindness before, I'd never really been drawn to the poem, and I certainly didn't know that it was in my memory. Nevertheless, these lines unfurled in my mind like a karaoke crib sheet. Of course, there were suddenly 1,000 things I needed to do: contact my lawyer and accountant, figure out how to pay the bills I'd accrued when I thought that I had money, not to mention rent and food and health insurance, but all I could think to do was to Google kindness. That poem became the prayer that carried me in the days and months that followed. This is some of that poem. Kindness. Before you know what kindness really is, you must lose things. Feel the future dissolve in a moment like salt in a weakened broth. What you held in your hand, what you counted and carefully saved, all this must go so you know how desolate the landscape can be between the regions of kindness. Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, you must know sorrow as the other deepest thing. You must wake up with sorrow. You must speak to it till your voice catches the thread of all sorrows and you see the size of the cloth. Then it is only kindness that makes sense anymore. Only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out into the day to mail letters and purchase bread. Only kindness that raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, "It is I you have been looking for," and then goes with you everywhere, like a shadow or a friend. Before you know what kindness really is, we must lose things. There is a singular wisdom which comes. We are better once the dust settles, when compassion, when love is all we are left with. When grief has blown us apart, when all we thought we were, all we thought we knew is gone, we see what is left. And always, always, in that kind of moment, when our best laid plans and hopes fall away, eventually something new can be born. In 1968, a scientist at the company 3M in the United States, Dr. Spencer Silver, was attempting to develop a super strong adhesive. He failed. Instead, he accidentally created a low-tack, reusable, pressure-sensitive adhesive. For 5 years, Silver promoted his solution without a problem within 3M, both informally and through seminars, but failed to gain acceptance. In 1974, a colleague who attended one of his seminars, Art Fry, came up with the idea of using the adhesive to anchor his bookmark in his hymn book. Fry then utilized 3M's officially sanctioned permitted bootlegging policy to develop the idea, and Post-it notes were born. The original note's yellow color was also chosen by accident, as the lab next door to the Post-it team had only yellow scrap paper to use. This iconic tool was the result of an accident, a failure coupled with openness and creativity. And all our lives are a little bit like this. So often we think our marriages are super strong, adhesive. We think we are creating super strong, adhesive family or career, only to discover that what we have, in fact, is low-tack, reusable, and pressure sensitive. Not what we wanted, not what we planned. But then comes the important part, the part that determines who we are. Right now, what is waiting to be born out of this moment in your life? Out of this strained and strange and stressful and stretched moment, is there some kind of spiritual post-it note waiting to be born of this time? This is our work, this alchemy, this creativity, this becoming. Especially now, just days before this election, we are here together, knee deep. Sometimes it feels more like nose deep in the broken shards of what was our government and democracy. And we could lament the distance we have fallen. We could wring our hands and say, not my president, not my democracy. Or we can own this broken system as our own and begin the mending, begin the healing, begin the transformation of these shards of this heap, begin to build something new. This is our calling, to pour ourselves in and to get to work. As you might have heard, we've been running our first ever virtual Journey to Membership class. And in these classes, we have a sweet little exercise. All the participants are invited to tell some of the story of their spiritual journey, telling some of the twists and turns which have landed them here with us. And I love hearing about people's paths. There's so many ways that we learn and grow, so many experiences which shape us, so many faces of our truth, so many people who have blessed us, right alongside those who have bruised us, and all of it has brought us here. Each and every one of us, these singular paths, these beautiful, unique stories, all pour into this moment. There is something precious and unique, something powerful and beautiful, something special, which is ours now to do together. We come together in this community, having touched the deepest things inside us, knowing sorrow, knowing kindness. We come together and we give the sweetest thanks for all that is our life, for all that has brought us here, for all that has shaped us, and especially for what comes next, for this glorious, beautiful world we will build. Amen.